Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. Can you hear me perfectly fine? Doing some regular checkups. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? There's just a couple little things uh that happened this week. Nothing too big, I would say. Mostly just like kind of updating, more updates and more progression on what has happened, what I've been talking about in the last week or so. So that's kind of what we've been seeing. So yeah, that's pretty. There's a good amount of things to cover, and well, we could go through it pretty quickly. Honestly, I mean, it's still like, how many slides do I have? I have like 18 slides, which is smaller than usual. I usually have like 22, 25 slides per presentation. So once again, a good amount of things, but most of them are just kind of updating what happened, more updates to what have we've already talked about in previous weeks. So nothing too major, if I would say. Let's see here. And so, with that said, let's me pull up the. Make sure I pull it up. Let's pull up that presentation and get this started. All right, start recording, and there we go. So, like I mentioned, there's been a lot of relative updates in this week. A lot of things that have been progressing further that we are now learning a little bit more information about in this week. And there's some other stuff that are interesting theories and some interesting potential new game come out. I know one of you guys out there will really love the new game that is supposed to be coming out now in December. But there are a couple of things coming out really nice. But regardless, we have to first give you guys an update and keep you guys updated to what the stories that we've been talking about before. So amongst those, let's go ahead and talk about the let's see here. There we go. And so let's go ahead and let's check the weekly recap for all the things that have been happening this week in the gaming industry. So, in the gaming industry, we see that once again, we have more news for EA, where EA has still been scrutinized and still keeps being scrutinized for that buyout that's they've been going forward with the Saudi Arabian investment fund. And the reality is that they started saying, guys, don't worry, I swear we're not gonna do anything bad. We're not gonna do anything bad. They're just gonna be a new owner, but we're gonna keep everything the same. We're not gonna fire people. We're not gonna change our games. Everything is fine. Please, just stop. Let us get our money. Let us get our buyout, please. So that's kind of the attitude they've been doing. They pinky promise that they're not going to do anything that people have been worried that they are going to do once the buyout happens. Now, their excuse is mostly the fact that they state that the Saudi Arabian investment fund is already a huge portion of their shares in the public market, saying that them buying them outright is going to be no difference than what they already have, which is having kind of a majority in their investment fund, right? That's one of the things they say. The other thing that they are saying in their favor is they're saying, hey, even though, yes, we're going to have another owner, the reality is that we're still going to be maintain creative control of overall in anything being created by EA. And they also state that we don't have to worry about layoffs or cutoffs or anything like that because that $20 billion debt that they have to pay, well, they state that they're a strong financial position they're currently in a strong financial position that they'll be able to deal with the payment, the 20 billion debt without any problems, without having to lay off any people, right? That's what they've been stating. In other words, they just keep saying, hey, nothing will change, guys. We're just gonna get a new, we're just moving to another father, right? They're just buying the house. They're not gonna renovate the house, okay? They're gonna be owner of the house, but we are still gonna be living in the house. So we'll be able to dictate what is going on in the house. They won't have any influence, right? That's what they state. Now, the thing is that we know that this is something we've heard of before from other companies. Companies that make these type of like big shifts, whether it is an acquisition or whether it's a buyout, they always claim that things are not going to change. They always claim, no, this is for the better. This is just to make our product that much better and better for you, the consumer. But this is exactly what we saw with Microsoft and Xbox when they acquired Activision. So the FTC was very much against Microsoft grabbing the acquiring Activision, because they said that that would cause them to have way more control over the gaming industry as a whole, and they could charge way more for their services, and they could charge way more for their general, like the consoles and general products out there, right? Even the games themselves. Now, they said, oh no, this acquisition has nothing to do with that. Back then, Microsoft stated that the Game Pass price will not increase as a result of the Activision merger. I guess we should have scrutinized that that wording, because it says it's not as of a result of the Activision merger, but it's a good thing that they have it because they wanted to increase it later on, which is what we saw with all the increases in recent weeks. We've been seeing the increases in the console for the Rogue Ally. We've been seeing the increases in the Game Pass price as a whole. We've seen the increases in hardware in general, with Xbox going up, controllers going up, everything going up in price. So this kind of proved them that the FTC was right when they said that it would substantially lessen competition in the video game library, subscription, and cloud gaming markets. So that's exactly what we saw. And because they're such a big giant, and they have they're the only ones that are really doing this subscription service for video games, they have no competition. They own all the developers and all the publishers for all these games. They have exclusive rights to this thing. So of course they're going to start charging more for this, even though they stated that they were not going to do it. Now, this is, once again, very similar to what EA is doing. But there's one thing that we didn't do before that we should do now, which is look at those tiny details in their statement. And one thing that makes me a little bit iffy on the acquisition is the fact that they said that the investment, getting the investment will not cost. Let me see where it is. Position featuring. Oh, did I not have it here? Okay. Well, basically what they stated is that this acquisition will not cost any immediate changes into the EA and its culture. Now, what I'm worried about is the word of immediate, because immediate is relative. What is immediate to EA leadership? Is immediate next few months? Is it immediate the next year? Or maybe immediate could be the next 2 years from now, right? The reality is that them using immediate just might be them saying, oh, no, this is not going to cause any changes, don't worry. And then later on, we'll see it maybe if the acquisition goes forward, we might see it later on in the beginning of next week, where, not next week, but next year. Maybe it's not in the beginning, maybe it's mid next year or end of next year. My guess is that what we'll end up seeing this acquisition, them making the changes according to their new Saudi Arabian owners, right? To fit their values, even though they said it before that they're not going to do it. We've seen this happen with landlords as well. Sometimes there's people who own a bunch of buildings, and they hand off the building and the rights to another owner. And even though they state the residents that live in those places, no, we're not going to change anything. Your contract is still valid. They're buying you with the contract and everything. Nothing's going to change. What usually ends up happening is that when you're under a new ownership, it doesn't matter what you stated before. Under new ownership, the new owner decides what they want to do. And unless there's actual in contract legal bindings dictating that they cannot change certain things, they'll just do whatever they want. After all, they're the owners. They have all the money. They own the actual thing. So this is something that is very worrying, and it definitely shows that right now EA is still in hot water and definitely being kept a close eye on EA on whether this acquisition will cause more harm in the future, or if it's just going to be a nice payout for the higher ups, and they don't care about whether the industry or the company goes under once they get that payout. So we don't know what the future is for this. It seems like in the next couple months, we'll be seeing, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be seeing if the acquisition actually goes through, the buyout actually goes through. So I'll keep you updated on that. So make sure you subscribe so I can keep you updated on everything that's happening regarding EA. Now, there's another company that's been on hot water recently, and that is Nintendo. So Nintendo, as we've covered before, has been doing a lot of patents, and a lot of them seem very predatory, or at least they're so vague that they seem intentionally done so to maybe muddy the waters legally for their competition. And one of the recent patents that they had gone out was the patent for them to summon if you summon a separate entity to fight for you, that's what they patented. Now, the thing is that for the first time in a while, we rarely see this, the US Patent Office director has ordered to re-examine Nintendo's patent, specifically the one about summoning characters. Now, this is very rare that they go and reassess a patent that has already been approved, right? But this is due to the backlash and the attention that this patent got when it got through, and the amount of people saying that this shouldn't have gone in the first place, has led them to finally take a second look at it and scrutinize whether that patent should exist. So much so that in Japan, that patent didn't pass. In Japan, when they tried passing that exact same patent, it actually got denied by the Japan Patent Office. They denied it themselves. So if where Nintendo is from, their parent company is in Japan, if where they're from is not allowing this patent to go through, why the hell did it pass in the US in the first place? So it's good that we're taking a look, and we're going back and taking a look at revising this patent and making sure that it's in good faith and not something that can be used to basically manipulate or be used as a potential, I guess, like knife against future development and future competitors against Nintendo for all of these type of games. Now, this, once again, it's just one patent. This is just the summoning patent. I'm hoping that this begins a trend of checking all other patents as well, considering the fact that we also have the riding a character, a sub-character that you can ride. They patented that recently, and it also went through. So that's something that also is in a lot of games, that it's not just Nintendo's creation. So that's something that should also be scrutinized and maybe taken out. Remember, the patents don't necessarily mean that you can't do or add these features into your game, because they might not flag you every single time, but it just it muddies the water to a certain point where you are at risk of getting basically sued if you incorporate these things into your game and you're not working with Nintendo. So the likelihood, a lot of lawyers have seen these patents, and they've said that the likelihood of them suing and winning a case using these patents is very low, but the fact of the matter is a lot of people wouldn't take that risk, right? So it already diminishes competition by taking this action. So hopefully they look at all the other patents that they've been recently posting, and hopefully they go back on it and actually, revise it, actually make sure that if they're going to keep it as a patent, that it's something exclusive to them and not something so broad as just summoning a sub character or writing a separate entity, right? Those type of things should not be patented. That's too common. Now, onto the next news. We have seen that another company has been getting a lot of flack recently, and that company, funnily enough, is actually, sorry about that. I'm having issues here in OBS real quick. Come on. There you go. All right. So that company that has also been causing or getting a lot of issues recently is actually the Rockstar company, with the developers of GTA 6. So GTA 6 has recently been accused of union busting in their headquarters. So for a little bit of context, employees have not been happy with how Rockstar has been running their business, or like the company recently. They've been suffering through a lot of the basically what's all too well known in the industry nowadays, which is that last minute time crunch where they don't have enough time to actually polish the game, which is why we get a lot of games that are clearly not finished and should have been left in development for longer. So they didn't like that they were basically pushing that, but in the public eye, they just make it seem like, oh no, we're doing it for the consumers and all this, right? So they were doing a lot of unhealthy practices, and they were kind of not paying their developers as good as they could. So a lot of developers started, working to form a union and started unionizing. The thing is that recently they went and fired 30 to 40 employees that were from the union. Now, the thing is that they claim that this union, them being fired, has nothing to do with the union. No. They can do whatever they want. It has nothing to do with the fact that they were talking about unionizing, that they were in a union. No, that has nothing to do about it. Never mind the fact that all 40 employees we fired were talking or joining the union or in the union already. Never mind that fact. It's a fact that they were leaking information about GTA. They were leaking company information to people who they're not supposed to. And the reality is that these workers have already gone on record saying that they did not leak any information to any party that's not supposed to have it. In fact, the only quote-unquote party that's not supposed to have it is them talking about their job experience and the things that they're working on to their union reps so that they can better represent themselves. That's the only outside source that they are supposedly leaking information to. So due to this, it seems like this is the reason they fired these employees. And because of this, there's now been riots. Well, not riots. There's been protests in front of Rockstar buildings. People basically going against the fact that Rockstar has done a very clear and apparent union busting tactic, which is illegal, by the way. You cannot fire somebody because they joined a union. So a lot of people are saying that they are actually deflecting the union allegations by claiming that they are, they're defying the workers because of leaked information. So people are not buying this at all, right? People are definitely not happy about what's happening, and they are not buying the story that they were leaking information. To give some credit, to be devil's advocate here, there have been a huge amount of leaked information coming from GTA 6. So much so that some people were actually camping in front of the GTA like in Rockstar development buildings and GTA offices trying to sneak peek, like sneak some photos and get some leaks of their own so that they can get some of that, information. So, and the fact of the matter is that a lot of the marketing for this game has not been official marketing. There are some official marketing, don't get me wrong, but there's been a lot of marketing from this game that's been basically done through leaks. And I guess now they're not happy about the leaks that have been happening, even though they've been dealing with leaks for almost 2 years now. And every single time a leak happens, they actually get even more positive feedback. So this just, once again, just more reason why these allegations are a little bit weird, at least. Like there's something off with these allegations that they're making. Now, this has affected the development of GTA 6, and because of this, recently we see that GTA 6 has been delayed once again. Originally, GTA 6 was supposed to be released on November of 2025, so around this time frame, it should have been released. But then they delayed it, stating that they wanted to, fix bugs, fix any bugs and any issues that they might find, make and polish the game, that kind of stuff. Basically stating that they wanted to avoid the whole Cyberpunk 2077 scenario, right? Or 2066. I think I said it right. Anyways, Cyberpunk scenario, right? They didn't want another Cyberpunk, so they want to make sure the game was polished. So they delayed it to May of 2026. Now, even when they delayed it to May 2026, there were still some developers that were on record basically stating that the progress and the work that they're doing on GTA 6 would not be done by May of next year, which made a lot of people hypothesize that they were going to shift it forward even more and that the game was not going to be out for May. And well, their hypothesis was correct, as we can see that just today, 2 hours ago, they announced that they delayed GTA 6 to November 19 of 2026, claiming the same thing they claimed before, stating that it's giving their team additional time to finish the game with high levels of polish that the players expect and deserve. This is almost verbatim the same thing that they stated when they moved it to May 6th or May of 2026 originally, right? And honestly, this might be two things, right? This might be a tactic since they're getting a lot of backlash about union busting, and because a lot of the union's demands are about giving work-life balance and giving better work conditions for these developers. This might be them trying to appeal to public audiences, saying, hey, we didn't do the union busting thing. See, we're giving them time. This is not about us doing union busting. This is us about making a perfect game, and they were genuinely bad people who were leaking our work. That's one way that you can read this scenario. The other fact is that, honestly, I don't mind if you put the game in for longer in the oven to cook it better, right? Like, I think that having the games not be released and keep getting delayed until they're as good as you can make it is not a bad thing. I know some people didn't take it that well when it got released. And if you go to Reddit right now, there's a lot of people who were complaining about the fact that it got delayed again. But the reality is that these things are good, right? You want to make sure that you don't rush into these things and that you actually do make them as best as can be, so that when the game comes out, the initial reception is just good. And a game as big as GTA 6 needs to perform well, right? It's very likely it's still gonna perform well, right? Because so many people are anticipating it. I think it's living up to the same phenomenon that we saw with Hollow Knight 2 with Silksong, where it kept getting delayed, but people were putting a lot of expectations to it, and they were really, really excited, and the hype just kept going and going and going. I think it's exact same phenomenon we're seeing right now. but Silksong did live up to its expectations. So here's hoping that GTA 6, with the additional time they're getting, do end up living up to expectations, and we don't see another Cyberpunk 77 situation. Now, that's what we're waiting. Hopefully, we'll see if it doesn't get delayed again, because this whole union bus scenario and the protests that are happening in front is delaying a little bit of the progress for the game. But over on the other side of the planet, we are seeing once again our dear friend Roblox having some issues. As in Australia, we see that they've been pushing for they've been pushing for a social media ban, basically stating that if you're under 16 years old, you cannot have a social media account. That's something that's happening in Australia, and up until this point, Roblox does not fall under this social media ban. But the fact that it doesn't fall under is currently being scrutinized, and they're stating that Roblox should be actually included in the social media ban. Mostly because mostly because of the same things that we've talked about before, related to there being a lot of gambling, there being a lot of things that are not suited for kids in Roblox. So they're fighting for the exact same reasons we saw before, but instead of it being banned overall, they just stating it that it should be banned for anybody under 16 years old, which is a big hit for Roblox, especially because, once again, Roblox target audience is minors, is kids, right? So that's not good. And in this article, they even state that they went on record, they went and did their own research, they went into Roblox, and while they were in Roblox, they reported that they were getting like cyberbullied, sexually harassed, that they were getting they found a gambling site, that they were getting explicit text in the game, and just overall a lot of things that we don't want to see for children, right? That we don't want children to be exposed to. And them creating a new account and finding out all these things is once again pushing Roblox in a hard place, where they are claiming that everything is safe for kids, but clearly we keep proving that that's not the case. Also, an additional factor, this experiment that they did, where they got cyberbullied, they got harassed, and they got all this explicit content thrown at them, was with parental features in place, right? This was all happening to them while they had parental features and filters already activated. So it's clear that the settings that they have in place to try to help kids are not doing enough. And as you can see, once again, there are casinos in roguelike, and there's stuff like that kids are exposed to. And there's even been talks about kids using their parents' wallets to gamble on this game. So once again, really bad for Roblox. Roblox is having it really hard. They're trying to prove that they're good for children, and no matter how you look at it, they keep getting proven wrong. And if they don't do something about it, I think Roblox might actually start going under. If everybody bans you, you have no audience, right? Maybe we might even see a shift in the future of them turning to a adult audience and stop promoting to kids. That'd be a wild shift if they do decide to do it, especially with how hard they've been pushing on the fact that they are for kids and that they're safe for kids and it's all good for younger audiences. But it wouldn't be surprising if once they start getting banned and money stops coming in, that they start making this type of like high shifts when they to try to stay afloat, right? But it's not all necessarily bad news. I mean, it's bad news depending on who you ask. So, for example, right now, Black Ops 6 is said to be doing really well on its open beta. So much so that people are saying that there's enough context in the beta that they think it's gonna outsell Battlefield 6 by a mile. And why? What is it that they found in the in the Black Ops 7 in the Black Ops 7 open beta that they think that Battlefield 6 is gonna be outsold? Well, according to the reporter, they basically stated that in the open beta showed zero bugs, lag, or any nonsense, which is rare, especially for a beta, and especially in recent years where betas have been known to be bug riddled. But that's kind of the whole point of a beta, so I don't really blame them for that. But the fact that they have a version in the beta right before release that is apparently super clean and does the job really well, that's very surprising. And also the fact that apparently the gameplay for this version of the game is apparently really good. It's apparently peak Call of Duty. They said it was peak Call of Duty gameplay, no unnecessary gimmicks, which honestly, they have been experimenting in recent years. So I'm not surprised that they always had gimmicks, but it seems like they've cut off on the gimmicks, similar to how Battlefield 6 went back to form, and Battlefield 6 is more true to its roots and to what the Battlefield experience is. It seems that Call of Duty, ignoring the campaign, it seems like Call of Duty multiplayer is actually living up to what people expect out of a Call of Duty game, which seems really good. These are all very big and high praises. Now, it doesn't look good for Battlefield 6 at all, especially if you look at their gem score. If we take a look at their gem score, we can see that Battlefield 6 is, even after launch, Battlefield 6 never performed as good as current Call of Duty games, right? So if you look at Call of Duty as a franchise right now, its average gem score is roughly 135 gems, and Battlefield 6 highest gem score was 81 gems, meaning that even if it's in its highest peak, it didn't really reach Call of Duty in its score. Now, this, you do have to take into account that Call of Duty as a service now, Call of Duty is more of a launcher where you can get all your Call of Duty games in one spot, meaning that this score that we're seeing right here is actually Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Warzone. So any Black Ops 6, Cold War, any of those Call of Duty games that were launched after Modern Warfare 2 that are placed now in the launcher all contribute to the gem score that we're seeing here. Meaning that, of course, because it's taking into account the franchise as a whole, we're going to see generally higher numbers. So, but with that said, it's still a difference right now of roughly 100 gem difference between both these games. And this game hasn't been, Battlefield 6 is not even, it's not even a month old yet. And it's already seeing a decline. As you can see here, you can see that the averages is declining over time. We're seeing a decline in players. We're seeing the decline in content, and we're seeing a decline in engagement. Meanwhile, Call of Duty, even though the new Black Ops 7 hasn't even been released yet, has a very steady overall average gem count and just performing pretty well overall. And I don't doubt that once Black Ops 7 comes in, we're going to see a huge spike from Call of Duty, and we might see it reach a score of 300 gems. That's my prediction, at least. So, Sans, you say that's probably due to RedSec. You think that's probably due to RedSec because of the low score, or because of the peak that it got? Because the RedSec didn't divide the player base, right? The RedSec, people who played RedSec were mostly people who weren't playing Battlefield 6. A lot of people who were playing Battlefield 6 were really enjoying Battlefield 6 as is, and were very unhappy with the inclusion of the Warzone equivalent, right, of the Battlefield Royale that they added, right? So that battle royale that they added wasn't what Battlefield 6 like hard fans wanted. So all that did was incorporate more people into Battlefield 6, at least through RedSec, and try to bring a bigger audience. I did not check RedSec's gem score, but it'd be very interesting to check their gem score and maybe like do a type of like addition between their gem scores, like kind of compare them together. But I don't think that even with that, especially having looked at its peak gem score, I don't think that it's that large, especially because of the release of a new game, which I myself have been really, really tempted to play, and that is Arc Raiders. If you've heard of Arc Raiders came out a couple of days ago, and people are loving Arc Raiders. And I saw gameplay about it. I saw my friends playing it. Arc Raiders seems very smooth, very clean, and very fun, right? The sound effects are really good. The animation is really good. The gunplay is really good. Overall, Arc Raiders seems to be doing a really, really well. And I feel like a lot of the hype that was existing for Battlefield 6 and RedSec has kind of been shifted. Those players have kind of been shifting over to Arc Raiders recently. I do not have the score of Arc Raiders simply because it just came out. Like it came out like maybe 5 days ago. It's actually it came out on the 30th, so it came out like roughly a week ago, and that's roughly a week window is when I start getting gem values, because I take the average of a week average of the game's performance. So that's also been affecting. Dispatch is also pretty good. Yes, Dispatch is also something that people have been playing, but I think that Dispatch, just by the nature of its game being a story-based game and just how it is, I don't think that would have deviated so much, because I think one episode is roughly like 45 minutes playthrough for one episode. I could be wrong there. 45 minutes to an hour. So if it wouldn't account for the entire week, especially since they're posting those games slowly but surely. But the combination of Dispatch being out, the combination of Arc Raiders being out, and the combination of just being a lot of new games that are coming out are definitely taking and them being received, the combination of those games being out and them being received so positively is definitely getting engagement away from Battlefield 6, since Battlefield 6 did have its mixed reviews. So all of this is definitely affecting it. And once again, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 seems to be getting high praises right now. So it's doing great. Battlefield 6 never lived up as much as Black Ops. Black Ops has, like Call of Duty in general, has always been kind of bigger IP than Battlefield itself. But I've always considered them like kind of to be competitors from each other, usually pretty neck and neck. But it's clear to see that Call of Duty is just blowing it out of the water, and this year when they release Black Ops 7. But we are yet to know. It's coming out this month. So once this game comes out, we'll know depending on the behavior of their gem value, we'll know for sure whether this game is whether Black Ops 7 ended up breaking records or ended up decimating Battlefield 6, or if Black Ops 7 didn't really move the needle. But there's a lot of ways that Battlefield 6 could come back from this, but it seems like a very hard thing for them to come back, especially because, once again, I do really, really like it seems like a lot of people really, really like Arc Raiders, and it's getting a lot of attention. Right now, Arc Raiders is number 2 on Twitch, the number 2 category on Twitch, and Battlefield 6 has gone down to basically, it's still technically in the top 10 spot, but it has gone down very, very low, and sometimes even dipping out of the top 10 spots in Twitch. And that's not even taken into account in in SteamDB, the player counts as a whole is also going down and down every single every single day compared to other games. Once again, Call of Duty keeping a very steady player count all throughout. But lastly, I want to end it with another really, really exciting news for those Metroid fans out there, as Metroid is about to release. It's right around the corner, and since it's about to release, they just sent a new trailer. Nintendo just posted a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4. So this is very, very exciting, especially for those Metroid fans out there that have been kind of, they've been starving for a new game, a new iteration. So this is really good, and I thought, why not go ahead and check the trailer ourselves. Let's go. We can boot up the trailer. It came out 2 days ago. So if you haven't seen it, I haven't seen it either. So it's very exciting to see Metroid 4. So I was thinking, why not watch it here with you guys? Watch that trailer with you guys right here. So let me pull that up in a bit, and we can watch that trailer together. Give me a sec. So Metroid Prime 4. Sorry about that. I'm just searching up. There it is. Give me this. And it's going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 game, it seems. Metro Prime 4 Beyond. So let's go ahead and look at this. Let me try to get it so I can share screen. There we go. Let me get this better for us. I just gotta fix the filter. Flop. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. There we go. I beaten the world's hardest captcha. They got you. Isn't that like a game? Are you human? And then you got to do a lot of captcha stuff. There's a game that's literally just that. There you go. And we should be able to hear it. Just making sure you guys can hear it. Yeah, it seems like you can hear it. Perfect. Perfect. Now we pray that Nintendo ninjas don't come after us. Yep. It's a trailer. I doubt that they'd be so mad, right? And me reacting to it. It already looks really clean. It definitely looks like it's their new engine. Yeah, the environment looks very nice. Honestly, this one, I like this environment because it's giving Halo. I know a lot of people would hate me for comparing it to Halo, but even the HUD is giving Halo to me. like it. It's like arcade shooter. Ooh, we got a bike now? That's new. Also, it's like a little bit open worldy. No, I don't think it's open world. I think it's just like segments where you're in a bike and you have to like shoot in the center. That's really good. So this is once again the trailer that they got that they posted just 2 days ago. What was it? Yeah, 2 days ago. And we haven't seen anything from Metro Prime for a while. And now we have a release date, which is December 4. I didn't know if we already had a release date for Metroid Prime. We might have already had it, but we hadn't really seen that much gameplay for Metroid Prime here. So it's really good that they're seeing. I love this amiibo with the bike. That looks very nice, very clean. So it looks. I don't know what is it with Nintendo. Nintendo is in a bike phase. You have that one Pokemon that had that became a bike. I forgot the name of the Pokemon, that legendary. Yeah, Pokemon that became a bike. Now you're adding a bike to Metroid Prime. It seems like whoever's in charge right now really likes bikes. Oh god. What extensions are you using to get up on top of the video player? What do you mean? Get up on top? Whatever do you mean? But yeah. So that's Metro Prime. I love the graphics for this one. It looks very clean. I like the different environments. I like the gunplay looks very fun. I know that it's not the first time they do a first person Metroid game, but it looks very clean. I know my best friend is gonna be very happy with the release of this. The one with the highlighted RGX logo. Oh, you mean this? This is Opera GX. So if you go to Opera GX, it's gonna have this. This is just unique from Opera. It's a browser I use. But yeah. If I'm mistaken, it is Opera. Yeah, it should be Opera. But yeah, so that is Nintendo. That is the new Metroid that's coming out. You saw those amiibos that they're they're promoting. It seems very interesting. So Metroid fans are being fed. I really am happy for them. I hope that in December 4th they have a lot of fun playing this game. Who knows? Maybe I'll play it. Who knows? It's there's a lot of games coming out. There are a lot of really good games coming out, and I do not have a Switch 2. So if you need a Switch 2 to play this, I would not be able to. It says that it's gonna come to normal Nintendo Switch system. So who knows? But yeah, with that said, that concludes today's update and recap of the gaming marketplace and all the news related to the gaming industry. Let me know if you enjoyed the news that I got. Do you think that I should maybe go more into detail? Do you want me to go more into detail on some of these news? Do you like this kind of over the top view of these things, kind of like TLDR of what's going on? Do you want me to be more brief? What would you want more details? Like, how would you like me to deliver the news for you in the future? But regardless, if you don't want to miss out on anything and everything that's going on the gaming industry these days every week, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and you follow me on twitch.tv/The Gaming Marketplace. And that way you can catch me live when I'm doing these updates every single week. So I'll catch you then. All right, so that's the end of the recording. But yeah, once again, relatively short, just a good amount of news, not too much going on. A lot of just updates of stuff that we've already gone about, and I didn't want to go on a tangent on them again, explaining everything a lot, very much in detail. So yeah, and don't forget TikTok. Yeah. I I don't go live. I didn't choose. I chose not to go live this time on TikTok. Um, just the TikTok live is really tedious. If you ever use TikTok live studio, it's a really bad like like just streaming software. It's really bad. It stops you every so often, basically stating that you are inactive, and if you're not if you're not like clicking on the screen at all times, it literally just like stops you, gives you a random notification, and it gives you a captcha you have to do midstream to keep it live, to keep the live going. It's so stupid. Why would you do that? They actively interrupt the streamer to make sure they're still there and they're still streaming, which is crazy. It's crazy to me. Um, so just overall, not that good. Plus, I haven't really been getting any engagement in lives with um in lives with YouTube. Sorry, with TikTok. And the reality is that TikTok once again sometimes flags my content saying that I'm not adding any value, which is crazy for them to state. But they just claim like apparently unless you're playing a video game or just talking to the camera saying random stuff, you're not adding value. If I show anything on screen that's like a website or like news article or anything like that, I'm not adding value. So it's just overall not a good streaming place. I think I didn't really enjoy it, but it was worth a try. I will, however, keep posting the shorts, like the news shorts, on there, promoting the Twitch. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're seeing right now. And just like as live is awful and so annoying to deal with, I completely agree. Completely agree. That's exactly what I was complaining about. So yeah, but overall, that's kind of it there. I want to do something with you real quick, which is we're not gonna check games scores today. At least not directly, not through the wheel. What I want to do today is I'm planning, right? Let's go ahead. I'm gonna just give me a sec while I do this, while I search what I want to search. I'm gonna pull up the algorithm real quick. Also, you also need to catch up on the checking gem value series. I do. I just have to like edit them. I have not been editing the making them into shorts at least. I have not been making them into shorts. But so I definitely do have to catch up on that. But I was thinking that we could do something a little bit more interesting today. And that is, give me a sec. Give me a sec. All right. So we're gonna look into the database. Let me open up the most recent data. Desktop. All right. Where are you? Where are you? All right. I'll show you in a bit. So we're going to be looking at, you're going to be seeing a spreadsheet. You're going to be seeing a spreadsheet. You're not going to be seeing, we're not going to be seeing the graph yet, although I will put that on screen in a bit. But I had an idea. This is what we're going to do for the rest of the stream. This is what we're going to do real quick. And then this will continue. This will be something we won't be able to finish just in this stream, but I think it's going to be interesting. So listen up. So this is the thing. We're going to go ahead and check what games are the worst rated worst rated game according to their gem score. We're going to check what are the worst rated games, see why they're worst rated, and if we can, we'll play them and see and give them a review of our own on these really low value gems. And hopefully, maybe if they're negative, we might push them a little bit forward, but I think that the conditions are the following. I think the game cannot be negative, right? There are so many games in the gaming marketplace that have been published by a random developer, and they like literally. I've seen games where they just get published and they charge you $100 for the game. It's crazy. It's not worth it. We're not gonna lose our money here by going into negatives, right? We are, however, gonna try to see which is the closest to zero gem value out there and see what games, how they're doing. Are they good? Are they bad? Should they have a higher gem count? Should they stay at a low gem count? And is their gem value currently justified? So that's what I was thinking of doing today. Today what we're gonna do is we're just gonna research a little bit into them. We're gonna see what games we want to add into our own list so that we can play them. Maybe on the next stream we'll go ahead and we can play them. But basically, we're gonna look at these games. Or you're gonna look at a little bit of spreadsheets right now of all of my data. But we're gonna do of all the results of gems. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go down that list. Let me change. We're gonna go down that list. We're gonna check what's the worst performing games. They cannot be a negative value. They cannot be overpriced. They cannot be something that's worth $100, $50, anything like that. Ideally, if we play them, ideally they will be free. And also because there is a lot of malware that recently that has been sneaking their way into the Steam store as games that are just malwares, or basically Trojan horses. What we're gonna do is that before I play or boot up or download any of these games, I'm gonna make sure that they are good games. We're gonna check the reviews. We're gonna check that they're not just malware or botted or anything like that. And once we ensure that all those are good, once they meet all those criterias, then we'll go ahead. We'll add it to the list. We'll play the game and we'll give it a score ourselves of whether this game should be or should not be, good or bad. We who knows? We might find some hidden gems in this, right? So we'll go from that. And then maybe we could, at some point in the future, do something similar. But in this case, we could look at what games have the highest growth in the last couple of, in the last week or so, in the last month. We can do that kind of stuff as well. Or which games have dropped in popularity in the last, by a large margin in the last week, month or so. And we can kind of do this as a series. So hope you'll find that interesting. Let's go ahead and check some of these games and see how well or how bad they are. So let me go ahead and change us to here. And you're currently seeing the code, which is perfectly fine. So we'll check the gem score graph once we find a game that we find interesting. We'll search for its graph value, for its gem value over time. But for now, let's just check what games that have really low gem score right now, like as of today. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And for those who are gonna watch this potentially in the YouTube video, this is being recorded on November 6th, 2025. So if there's a game that you maybe developed and you posted and it hasn't been getting that much traction and it doesn't appear here, just know that that's why. But the scores as of today, November 6th, 2025, those are the games we're going to be verifying right now. So let's go ahead and look. So I can change you properties. So there you go. You're seeing spreadsheets. That's perfectly fine. It seems like a lot, I know, but give me a sec while I zoom in on this so you guys can see it better. Right? We'll zoom in on these values so you guys can see a little bit better what you're looking at. We'll extend this because this is their name. Let me scroll all the way up, right? So this is just the raw data that gets uploaded to the website every single day. This database gets updated, and this is just me opening it on Excel, just so I can actually see the full list, and we can move around it and everything. So, uh, just in case you're curious, right? These are the games that are highest performing. You can go to the website thegamingmarketplace.com and you'll be able to see these games of the top 10 at least games and their recent gem score, while also here's some additional ones if you were curious. Oh, time to go digging into my Steam library to try and see if I see anything that I think is underrated. Sounds good. If you wanna propose any games, feel free. Oh, another criteria. The last criteria. They cannot be. They have to be safe for work. I don't know if I have to state it, but they have to be safe for work. They cannot be saucy games. That's the last criteria. As long as they're safe for work, we'll take a look. So let's see. You're seeing this right now. Uh-huh. And now I can go ahead and do this. Yeah, no saucy games today. No saucy games. All right. Let's see. Where is it? 10 meter. Gem shark. All right. So let me know when you can get a better view of what I'm showing, because I know that right now this is probably not great. I don't know if you can tell anything that's going on in this screen whatsoever. I think it's too much information. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in even more. We only really care about what I think I'm going to do this is we only really care about their most recent value. So if I can just grab, it's a mess of numbers for me, my guy. Yeah, okay. You once again, it's gonna be hard for you to kind of get all these right to like understand all these numbers. That's okay. I'm the one. That's why I'm here for. I'm here to analyze the numbers for you. But for now, let me just hide all these values just so it's less information on screen. It's so much. It's causing issues. Uh-huh. There you go. All right. So we've hidden the values. So now we have only the most recent data, right? So this is the most recent data, and this is the game, right? So now what you're seeing, you can kind of ignore this segment right here. This giant blob of text that you're seeing here are tags, like what they tags from Steam, so that people use when they're searching for games. So you can ignore that. Eraser seems like an underrated game. Eraser. Let's see if I have it. Control find Eraser. Is it just written like exactly like that? Pencil versus eraser. I have one right there. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna open my Steam so I can also search the games you're talking about. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna change this so that it's just the game name, right? Just in the game name. It's kind of its genre. See if I can make this wrap around itself. Let me make you wrap text. Okay, perfect. So now it's the game. I'm gonna do the same thing for you, this guy though. Perfect. Let's do that. Let's do this. A little bit of that, and there we go. There we go. So now we're gonna move this like that, like so. And now I'm hoping that we can get a better look. I'll just make it so that it's zoomed in more so that you can hopefully just see what we want to see. So I'll move this guy here. Right now, it's just a bunch of things on screen. I am aware that this is a very crowded thing. Give me a sec. I think it might be better to just, yeah, this is way too crowded. So let me see if I can just go ahead and do go to the news. Let's import here the display capture. No, it wasn't display capture. It's browser. Windows capture. There you go. And then we'll do game research. There we go. So we can add that right there in this in the. Can you read that? Do I need to zoom in more? Can you read that? Is that legible to you guys? As long as you can read the games, then we're gonna be fine. The name of the games. All right. So we have this guy. Now let's go ahead and look for. Yes, you can read it. Perfect. And now let's go ahead and add window capture, and we're gonna do the Steam. There you go. We can lower this. Nope, wrong thing. We can take you and lower you. And just kind of add you here, but make the chat under it. There we go. There we go. So it's gonna be a little bit better. We're gonna be able to see. You can see my search for the game. So you set eraser. Eraser. You can read just fine. Is it there's 3 games. There are 2 games that are called Eraser. Which one did you mean? There's one that was released in 2023 and there's one that was released in 2021. Oh wait, I know this game. I know this game. This game was submitted in a game jam. This game was submitted in a game jam. Let's go ahead and see here. Control find. Is it literally just called Eraser and nothing else? Yeah, Eraser and nothing else. So I wrote it right, so we just don't have data for this. Or maybe we do. Is it this one? It might be this one. The free one. Yeah. Okay, so I know about this one. Like tech, I've seen video essays about this game, funnily enough. Action indie. Is it the right one? Action indie. Is that what you put here? Action free to play indie. Yep. Okay. So that's the one we're looking at right now. And it currently has a score of negative 0.002 gems. It's right here. Can you see the gem value? Yes, you can. It has a really low gem score. It's weird that you're in the negatives when you have positive reviews. Am I looking at the wrong one? Maybe. Let's see if it's just the wrong one. Oh, it's the wrong one. That's not the game ID. That's not the game ID for this game. Let's find the next one. Let's see if we have the other one. No, it seems like the only 2 that exist are the paid ones. I don't have this eraser, unfortunately. So let's see if we find another one. But what we're gonna do to find these games, right, is we're gonna try to scroll to where they are. We're no longer in the negatives, and we're just in really low, like zero score games. So let's get out. If they're not negative, that means that you don't have to pay. They should be at least free, and if they're not free, they should be performing relatively, like they're doing, they have some people playing it. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. We have a score of 0. It's such a small score that it's just rounding it down to 0. Wait, did I accidentally filter this? Why are you showing 5 here and 999 here? The fuck? Oh, because it's 9 e to the minus whatever. This is like such small values that they're e to the minus. So we almost found exactly, like, it gets so slow, so low that they're practically 0, that then eventually they're just 0. Right? This is such a 0.000 whatever the hell, 7 zeros and then a 5. So I would like them not to be in um uh, 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 scientific notation, but we'll leave it at that. Red eclipse. Which one? Let's see. Red eclipse. Red eclipse. Free. There we go. Let's see here. Here. It has positive reviews. That's already a good sign. Do I have it here? What's his value? What's your value? So the reason I have to search it through here and not through the website is because, as you know, the website only includes the top 1,000 games right now, not the entire um uh, repertoire of games that I have in the database. So these games that are way under 1,000, we won't be able to see them. Okay, that's a 0.004. That's not bad. We've seen. Well, this is Red Eclipse 2. We've seen lower. Let's see if I find Red Eclipse 1. I have a sequel, so the first one, like, cannot be. Uh, did you not find it? Were you searching and you didn't find it? It seems like I can't. It's not finding any other game with the name Red Eclipse on it. Or is it just not searching? Is it just so big that it's not doing? Skibbity Backrooms is in here? Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. We'll include that one. I think that will be a fun one to check. Skibbity Backrooms. Skibbity Backrooms. Jesus. Okay, so I'm gonna write them down. Right? Uh we'll actually, maybe I can show it. Maybe I can, like, do something along these lines. Maybe I can lower myself a little bit. Nah, let's not do that. Let's not ruin what I have for the news segment. Let's just get you closer here, right? Get you where you were, kind of right there. And then what we're gonna do, what we are gonna do is what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put a little list here in the side. So let me add text. Just call it list. Okay. And then this will be a list of games. Games to play. And we'll include a list here that we can just kind of add as we go. Also, why can't you be smaller? And also, why can't you be a different color? Can I change the color? Can you let me change the color? Is it only gonna be white text? Can you not let me change the color? Crazy. All right, we'll liver. Okay, we'll liver there. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Let me see if I can change the color in this thing. Is it through filters? Add color key. Okay. Can I like change the color at all? And I mean, I can make it dark, but that's it. Doesn't seem like I can add color to it. Okay. Try again. Oh, select color. There we go. I found it. I found it. I found it. Filters. Let me remove the one that I was. Okay. Okay. There you go. There you go. Select color. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see if this works. This is not such a terrible color. Right there. Okay. Okay. And then I will however change it to there we go. Wow. Wow, it's only small. Okay. And then April. April fat face. Go with April fat face. That's a little bit better. Just looks a little better. Okay. So from this list, we're already gonna add, just because I think it'd be funny. Just because I believe it would be funny. So I gotta go to here. Alright. We're gonna add skibbity backrooms. Backrooms. Okay, we're gonna actually. I have an idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. No, okay. Here, okay. Let me just add new text. List. There you go. And then now here is where I'm gonna add the backrooms. Skibbity backrooms. Love that. Never thought I was gonna say this in my life. Select font. Okay. We'll go with that. And then we should be okay. Select color. Let's select the same color. And then select font. We're going to change your size. Change your size to maybe 200. Nope, gotta be smaller than that. Okay, actually that works. Works. If I just like make it way smaller. There we go. Check reviews and make sure they aren't botted. Yep, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Especially the skibbity one. It could definitely be a botted one. I do want to add the. Let's go with Red Eclipse 2, I guess. Since I didn't find Red Eclipse 1, right? We have Red Eclipse 2 here. I didn't find Red Eclipse 1. Yeah, no, it's just searching Red Eclipse 2. It doesn't find Red Eclipse 1. Yep, okay. So this is the only one we have. So let's go ahead and search Red Eclipse. There's no 2. Could it be that it's named 2 in the in Steam, but it's actually just the first one. Let's see. Let's see if the numbers line. 967,460. Okay, so it is the exact same game. So one way we could check it is Steam gives a unique game ID for every single game. So I cross reference this game ID with what I'm seeing on screen, and apparently they changed their name in Steam like database in their service to be Red Eclipse 2 for some reason. But I have Red Eclipse 1, so we're good. We're good here. This is the another one we could add here. So let's first check. One of the things we can check to see if this game is actually a real thing is by going into SteamDB real quick. And in SteamDB, we can check the game, and it's if it has how many players it's seen and stuff like that, and then maybe if it had a huge amount of players in the beginning when it released, maybe we could discern that it should be good, should be safe. But I'll also do some research on my own to ensure that that's the case. Outside of stream, I'll do that. Okay, its all-time peak was 103 players. And it sees one player every so often. I'll be that one player that it sees every so often. So we have Red Eclipse. We'll add that to the list, and then let's check Skibidi Backrooms. Oh, you have to pay for this one. It's $2. It's a $2 game. Interesting. It's just another Backrooms game. Which, sure. We'll add it to the list. We might take it out of the list later if we don't find better options, but we'll keep it in the list. So let's go ahead and add Red Eclipse. Red Eclipse. So we've added that one. Let's see what else. Let's go farther down. We have to go all the way down to 0. We have to go all the way down to 0. There we go. These are practically 0. Unless it doesn't have 6, 7. Hey, I gotta get the younger audiences somehow, you know. I gotta get people like I gotta get the metrics to include to teach people of all ages. Damn. Yeah. Are we? Yeah. E to the 6. Searching for it. We found it so quickly last time too. Funnily enough, I should have like Ooh, undo. Oh damn. Okay, so we're in 1.49. There we go. We found the zeros. All right. So in these 0 values, they're so low that they're so close to 0 that they don't even get a gem score of themselves. FPS chess. We could check FPS chess in a bit. Land of Dread. Let's search. What's the lowest one before we start getting a negative value? What's the lowest one before we start getting negative values? Let's see. Give me a negative value. There we go. We saw negative. So greedy. What is this one? Greedy developers cash grab. Oh, this might be one of those where the game is exactly what it says it is. Greedy developers cash grab. This is just Worm or Circle IO. That's all this game is. 0 reviews. Greedy developer publisher. The release date is coming soon. It's not even out yet. That's why it's 0. It's not even out yet. Okay. That looks like, honestly, that looks like an AI game. The Great Fear. Are they just games that I have not? The Great Fear. I can't even find it on Steam. Great Fear. Oh, The Great Farce? Am I reading it wrong? No, it says Fear. It's not this one. 2, 3, 250. Yeah, it's not. I don't know what game this is. It doesn't even exist no more. It got taken out. Doesn't even exist no more. I mean, I expect it to be the case. I can't do VR. Let's see. Where wind becomes quiet. Is this zero value too bad? Like, are they just games that have not been, that either got taken out or have not existed? Where winds meet. That's not what we're looking. Where winds become quiet. Where winds become quiet. Yeah, I don't think we can find them. I don't think we can find. These are games that are, these zero values seems to be games that existed and got taken out at some point, or are just like in development but not really. So let's see. I'm gonna try one a little bit higher. That's a copy game. That's funny. Game of the, there's no way. This is not The Witcher. The Witcher Wild Hunt. View page. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition. 499. No, not even that. I don't know where they got that Game of the Year Edition, but it's no longer an option on here. Let's keep going up. I think the zero values are definitely games that no longer exist in the, no longer exist in Steam, but I got them at some point and then now they have a score of 0 because they're not getting any more data. Here to Slay. Here to Slay. Why does that one sound so familiar? It's a political strategy game. Is it this one? 16, let's see, where is it? 1605 460. Yep, that's this one. It's the strategic political strategy game. It has mixed reviews. It's also a board game. Okay, so that's why I'm confusing it. But I mean, it looks like it's trying to play as a board game. Yeah, it's a simulator. Wait, no, strategy. It looks like it's a board game made digital, if I'm being completely honest. Let me see. Are you ready to enter the cutthroat world of politics? And here to slay, a new political strategy game. You'll build your own political party, complete a regional election to gain control of the government. As the head of the state, you'll be responsible for running a country, managing budgets, and making diplomatic decisions. This seems like an ambitious game. That's a really low score, though. What are, it has mixed reviews. It has how many reviews? 17 reviews. Let's see. It came out when? It came out March 11th of 2023. Okay, let's see here. March 11th, 2023. And give me Paper Please vibes. Yeah, but that's because it's giving Papers, Please vibes. It's giving because that's like a whole dictator aesthetic, right? Like you know, Germany during World War II aesthetic, and that's what this is giving as well. But where are the reviews? Reviews. There we are. Oh, it got good reviews here. let's see. Let's take a look at one good review, and then we'll look at a bad review. In the first hours or so, I was tempted to sway towards negative review. However, watching the old tutorial video, I was able to make some sense of what is going on and how to make progress. The game has no handheld tutorial, so it can be a bit overwhelming at first. But within a couple of hours, I had managed to figure out most of it and started to see my actions actually making a difference. By day 200 or so, I had managed to get my first party member elected to the town council and now making progress in expanding influence into another city. If you give it time and are willing to put in hours, you will slowly see how the mechanics all fit together and affect each other. It is actually surprisingly deep once you start to advance and your own party gains more influence and power. My only grips with would be that the generic names and photos do not seem very Eastern European at all. Given that given that the game is set in the area of the world, the choices for the names seem quite bizarre. It would be great to see some sort of editor mode support for this in the future, and would really add to the immersion. In summary, the game attempts to take abstract look at the political machinations of Eastern Europe in the 70s, and does do relatively well. uh, it is a game that very much focuses on the party members and attempting to get the best team put together to gain as much influence and popularity as possible to advance. The UI isn't the greatest, but it doesn't. But it does its best to put all the relative information and actions in the correct places. I did see a few placeholders in some of the text, and it could have done with a bit of spelling checks in places. If this era and geographic location of politics is of interest to you at this price point, it's a fine little challenge. Okay, how much does it cost? It's an $8 game. Okay, wild. That's a pretty for what it is. It's an $8 game. Damn, $8. It does seem interesting though. It does seem like it's true. Let's see what's the worst review. Bad reviews. This guy gave it 6 hours. The best review was 5 hours into the game. This guy gave it 6 hours into the game. No frills political experience. Pretty good considering it's just $10. Devs were quick to fix a couple of issues that made the game unplayable. Hope for a few more updates and fixes in the future, changing this recommendation from no to a yes as a result. Update from a couple of minutes later, changing it back to no. Turns out they broke the game even more. Okay, crazy. But it seems like it's a legit game though. It's a legit game that I feel like we'll try it out. I might try it out. I'll add it to the list at least. I'll add it to the list, and then we can make up our own opinions once we play it. So here to slay. Here to slay. All right. Add it to the list. I should probably select a different color for this. Maybe that. No, ooh, I don't like that. I do not like that. Let's try a different color. It was. What about this? That'll work. Not a big fan of it, but it'll work. Anyways, let's see what other games we can find. This is already added to the. I'll add it to the wish list just so I can find it easier later. I should do the same thing with Red Eclipse. Red Eclipse. That one's at least free. And it has a couple of reviews, very positive. I'll do 831 reviews, so it seems like a legit game. All right. In that case, let's go ahead and see what other games we can find. So clearly, this is where we're at. So this is when we start seeing actual games, when they have relatively zero, but not exactly zero score. Which makes sense. If you have reviews and stuff, you're not going to have a zero score. So Let's see. Secret of a Dream. Secret of a Dream. Secret of a Dream. It's currently on sale. It's only 79 cents. It seems like a puzzle game. It's a Secret of the Dream is blended click adventure and first person puzzle game. You play as a young man named Peter, and he does not know where he is. Okay. Okay. How you do Whistlers? We can add this one. Ooh, the review. It has 3 reviews, 3 negative reviews. I completed this game in 16 minutes. It started promisingly, but ended up being an escape room game with just 3 sections. It has absolutely no story. Students have created a far better game than this. Void, I have requested a refund. Ooh. Asset flip. Okay, let's see here. Secret of the Dream is digital homicide style asset flip. The developer paid for / pirated a few Unity assets store packs, dumped them all in a blender, and submitted it in Valve as if the real game developer. Okay. 2 notable criteria for what makes asset flip instead of legitimate use of stock assets are whether those assets comprise a majority. Okay, we won't include it. It seems like they did bad. They're bad people. They're bad people. We won't include it. We won't include bad people. Beachhead. Beachhead. We're really scrounging through the barrel, the bottom of the barrel. Beachhead. Is it this one? $15? 2,000? It's a $3 one. What is this? Oh, okay. You're just a. Okay, you're like a cannon. You're holding a cannon. Okay. When was this released? 2000. It was literally released on 2000. That's why it's called Beachhead 2000. Okay. And you can have the entire Beachhead bundle. You can get the entire bundle if you want. I'm not showing you guys too much. Let me make sure I show you. All right. And what are your reviews? This game does not work at 64-bit system. Okay, here's what the publisher said in response to the question why the game does not work on modern operating system machines. The initial round of releases was simply to get the titles onto Steam as they were at least. Never was it intention to remaster the old games. Oh, okay, so there's like a port. This game is a port from like another, I'm assuming an arcade game that existed before. That's interesting though. I won't play it because it says that it's unplayable for newer devices. Lighthouse Keeper. Let's go for Lighthouse Keeper. Oh wait, you had given a suggestion. Where was the one you had? FPS chess. I think I know this one. I think I've heard of this one. Yeah, I've seen this one. I've seen people play this one. But this one is probably I need somebody else to play it. I would need somebody else to play this one. So I can't play FPS chess. But we can continue searching for other options. Which game sounds better for you guys? Let's see. Lighthouse Keeper, Belforce 2, Demons of the Past, If Found, Allah Mogus Must Die. Nope, I don't think we're gonna allow that one. Nephis Begins, Power Unite Dedicated Server. Okay, that's not a game. Mission Santa or Luxocraft. Which one sounds more interesting for you guys? Luxocraft, Mission Santa, Nephis Begins, If Found, Special Force 2 Demon of the Past, or Lighthouse Keeper? Which one are we thinking? Lighthouse Keeper. Okay, let's go with Lighthouse Keeper. Lighthouse Keeper. Seems to be this one. It's on sale. Is it this one? Let me make sure because it's not. It's 14. No, this is not the right Lighthouse Keeper. Lighthouse Keeper. Keeper. I wrote it wrong. Typo. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be this one. Ooh. Ooh, interesting art style. Let's see. Is it that one? 16, 69, 370. Yep, it's this one. This one's the one that's low score. It's a $2. The game is just $2. It has 360 something reviews, mostly positive though. It's mostly positive. Okay. Feels like a short film. Ooh. This has some good reviews. We'll add that to the list. This one might be like an artsy game. Lighthouse Keeper. All right, so let's see. What are the other ones we saw? I'm interested in seeing what the hell Luxocraft is. Luxocraft. What are you? You're just a Minecraft generator. Is that what you are? 3D ray tracing block construction builder, free video game, supporting user generated free paid items for sale. So it's just for people to make. It's a sandbox. It's a free sandbox. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. If found. Let's see. If found. Sounds like Minecraft copy. That's what I thought it was, but it's not. Apparently, it's like more of like. Why did I write that? If found. I ended up. Oh, interesting. This one looks very promising. If found, it's a game about going home, coming out, and erasing everything. Oh, this one looks interesting. If found, let's make sure it's the exact same one I'm looking at. 104, 190, 20. Yep, that's the one. This one looks very nice. Is it? It is $12. It is $13 though. It is $13, but it has very positive reviews. Has some very positive reviews. Look at that art style. Art style looks nice. I'm gonna add it to the list. That's another artsy, interesting game. If found, because it's 3 dots. They included 3 dots. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. Let's see what we learned from looking at all these games that are like low value. Okay. So let's move on to another. We have how many games right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make it 6. Let's get one more game to try out. Because I'm thinking we might not do Skibbity Backrooms just because that one might be. I'll have to look more info into it, or maybe we won't do Here to Slay. But let's just give us another option. Let's give us another option for these games, right? So there is. I'll read you guys the next options. These are once again practically 0 scores. They're 1.49 to the e to the minus 0.6, like negative 0.6. Okay, so these are practically 0. So within these games, we have the last game we're gonna get. We have Relic Alone. We have Dead Stop. We have The Trap Remastered. We have healed them all. And we have, there's this one called Chat Battlers. Yeah. Or we also have Colony Assault. Ampersat? Where do you see Ampersat? Is that a game? Ampersat. Ampersat. Oh, it is a game. Okay. Alright. This seems interesting. Let's see if I can find it. Get this. Bloop. Ampersat. And let's see if I can, if it exists and if I have data from it. Ampersat. Oh, I do. And it's 0.0015. It doesn't look bad. That's not necessarily a super bad score for a game I've never heard of and has only it has only 67 reviews. Mostly positive. We could add that one. We're gonna add this one. This looks like an old computer game. Like one of those like flash games you used to play before. All right. We can add this. We can add this. If they have a demo, we could do demo instead of the full game. It is nine. It is. It's just $1 right now. It's normally 10. It's like a sale. November 12th. I have time to make the decision, but we'll add ampersat in here. Ampersat. Okay. So, are we okay? Oh, you can barely see. Are you okay with this list that we have so far? You've gotten the game for free before? You're influencing. Anyways. Okay. What the hell happened here? All right. So the question is, right? The question is, are we happy with this selection? Right? Let me hide these for real quick. Let me hide these real quick. Where are you? There you go. Let's make you bigger. So, these are the games we decided on. Are we happy with these games? We have Skibbity Backrooms. We have Red Eclipse, Here to Slay, Lighthouse Keeper, If Found, Ampersat. Perfect. Okay, so we have the games that we're gonna be trying out. Let's just real quick look at their performance over time, just so that we can kind of look at their data real quick, and we'll see if we see anything interesting. Maybe they were like really big in the beginning and then died off really quickly or something along those lines. So let me just show on screen this real quick. And then once we check their general score a little bit, after that, we'll just call it for today. And then we can play them in a future stream. So let me just make sure I am showing this in screen. So we have our list. So let's go ahead and add here window capture, existing game chart. Okay. 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 I will, however, change your filter. Let's and let's include more. It's like 5. Nope, that's too much. 400. Yep, that's perfect. All right. All right. We got it. Okay. So we have our thing. Now let's go ahead and run the code so that now I can go ahead and put the game that I want to put. So we have the list. We have a list right there. Right there for us to see. Right there. So let's go ahead and look at Skibbity first. Skibbity, skibbity, skibbity. Skibbity backrooms, all caps, no crumbs. There we go. Okay, so this is the score for Skibbity backrooms. It seems that it on average stays on roughly 0.05 for a good bit. It was not doing that bad for a while, and then it got a spike to 0.11 at some point. Am I showing it on screen? Are you guys seeing it? Now you're seeing it. So it was 0.05 for a bit, and then it saw a spike where it reached like 0.11, and then it went down to 0.04, and then we see one or two spikes here and there. But overall, pretty low score of. But we're seeing that Skibbity currently has a score of 0.0049 gems. So we'll see if that score is warranted, or maybe it's a hidden gem that more people should pick up. Who knows? We'll find that out together. But let's see. Maybe next Thursday you can do the news and then play the game on both YouTube and Twitch. Mostly because Twitch be treating me like not allowing me to change resolution. Yeah, I still don't get it. I haven't found anything about that. It's so weird that Twitch is doing that. But we could definitely do that. We could definitely leave it for next Thursday. I have no problem with that. Leave it for next Thursday and play a couple of these games, and I'll make sure I have them downloaded by then. But yeah. So this is that's the Skibbity room backrooms. So we now know the Skibbity backrooms has a score of roughly 0.0, and I'm gonna round up and say 0.05. Now let's look at Reddit clips. So Reddit clips, when I look it up, for me it's Reddit clips 2. I remember that it appears as 2 or in the Steam charts in Steam data, or maybe I wrote it wrong. Oh, I did write it wrong. Did I accidentally put 2 L's? Nobody told me I put accidentally 2 L's. Crazy. Okay, so here's Reddit clips. We can see that Reddit clips had seen roughly, right? Let me just put this up here, over here, put you over here. Perfect. Now you guys can actually see it better. So Reddit clips too, we can see that it had roughly 0.1. It was also doing not bad at all with its gem scores. It's at almost 0.2. Not really reaching the 1 gem value, but still doing pretty well. For a really niche indie game that from a developer none of us have heard of. But it seemed like it's up and down. So it was reaching roughly 0.1 to 0.08 gems on average, I would say. Like 0.1 gems on average. And then we saw its highest value, which is 0.24 gems. That's the highest it got. And then it's kept seeing the same kind of sporadic behavior until eventually we see that it now stays at roughly 0.0048. So it's another 0.005 because we're gonna round up here. Another 0.005 game, which makes sense because I believe I put Skibbity Toilet because I saw it, the Skibbity Backrooms because I saw it on top of Reddit clips. So it makes sense that they have a similar score. Now, Here to Slay. Here to Slay. It came out in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. That's where it said. So we won't have the initial release data. But let's see what we... Did I wrote it wrong? Did I write it wrong? Where's the... Here to Slay? Where are you, Here to Slay? Oh, I don't know why. all the way down. Here, just like, come on. Give me those. Give me the zeros, and then I know I'll be right there. Damn. Wait, we should be near it. Okay, fear the dark. We should be near it. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Come on, find it. Here. Okay, okay. Here to slay. Did I write it wrong? Where are you? Should be somewhere around here. Here to stay. I've been saying slay. It's stay. That's why. Crazy. Crazy. The game was basically stolen by some crypto bros until it was exposed by a YouTuber. Which one? The Red Eclipse? Oh, the Red Eclipse got stolen? Maybe that's why it has like Red Eclipse 2 in the name. Like in Steam. So when it got exposed by a YouTuber, did they give it back to the player, like to the original owner? Yeah, we're not seeing it. This is like this is 500 nanogems. These are 500 nanogems. That's how low it's doing. It's been very consistently 500 nanogems. Nano. Very low score. Very low score. But we knew that. We knew that. All right. And now we have Lighthouse Keeper. Which looks like a nice little artsy game. And then you know what we could do? I could also try to find one of those like rating things, like the rating stuff, and then like put it on a tier list, on a rating tier list from A to F, determining whether the game, and we'll like determine what each tier means, but we'll rate it that way. Actually, the original Red Eclipse, the one that that's on Steam, is open source. That's how that was stolen. Ah, it was open source before. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it got stolen then. It sucks, but there's malicious people out there. All right. So this game came out and immediately saw negative values when it came out, because you do have to pay for this game. After it saw those negative values, it did, however, go up to around 500 nanos, 500 nano gems, until it eventually saw its peak of 0.003 gems. Interesting. Saw a peak of 0.003 gems, and then it went back to its basically zero value afterwards. But that 0.003 gem, not that bad. Not that bad. We'll put you. Oh, I kind of want to put the 0.03 gems just to give it 3 gems. That's its peak. That was its peak. This guy didn't change. The peak for this guy was 500 now. But this guy had a 0.003 gem value max. So I like to give it some credit for what it is. And then we're going to go ahead and check if found, which also looked very interesting. That's very interesting. All right. Here it is. All right. So we can see, you can't see, I can see. Were you guys not able to see this shot earlier before? That sucks if that's the case. Regardless, we can see that this game, when it released, it went immediately negative because it didn't get that much traction. Not many people knew it, but you have to pay for the game. And then it went up once people started to discover it. It got up to 0.003 gems, which is not bad at all. It's similar to what we saw at the peak for Lighthouse Keeper. It did go down a little bit, like basically back down to 0, and then went up, and then it just seemed like not much traction. Up again, not much traction, and then we saw its peak at 0.017 gems. And then after that small bump here, it went down. Then we see 0.04 gems and maintained that for a bit. And then finally it went back down to its current score of practically 0. It's just 1 micro gem. So we'll do the same thing as last time. We'll put its highest peak value. So it's 0.017 gems. 0.017 gems as its peak. And then ampersand is the last one we're gonna see real quick. There we go. Let's run you. Okay, your smaller data. All right. So you were negatives basically for a while in July. Then you got 0.09. You kept that 0.09 for a bit, went back down, went basically to 0. It sees some traction here and there. It sometimes dove into the negatives. We can see here that it's taking a negative 0 value. And then it went back down, back to 0.015 for a bit. And then it did see a spike at some point of 0.9. 0.9 from such a low score. What jumped it to 0.9? 0.9, damn. Almost 1 full gem score. Full score of 1 gem. That was really close. And then it went back down. This must have been a streamer or somebody found it or something, but it went back down to its average, which is technically like in the negatives for the most part. It's either negative 0 or 0. I guess it depends if it's on sale or not. Okay. But I'll show you on screen again because you weren't seeing it. It's 0 point something. Maybe because it went free for a certain point. Maybe that's why, right? So it's 0.09 gems. Then it's all basically 0 or negative 0. And obviously there's no such thing as negative 0. It's like very small decimal, but you know what I mean. It's either like 0 or negative 0 for a bit, and then it saw this spike here from 0.9, almost a full gem, and then back to 0, 0, negative 0, 0, where we're seeing it right now. So we'll give it. We'll definitely check these out. Let's check if these games deserve to be to have the attention they have, right? We can check later on. My guess is that we can later on check what I would say the once again the little tier list. We can do a little tier list thing and like put them, like rank them, whether they're I'll explain the different tiers. I'll think about it, but basically we could do like a one where it's like, oh, this is an actual hidden gem, and we can lower it to like, oh, decent, or like this is clearly like somebody's first attempt at a video game, at like generating a game or something like that. And then there's cash grab, and then there's a scam, right? We can kind of put it in that category and see how it goes. But yeah, so that's the list of games we have so far. That's a list of games. We'll look into them next stream. I'll try to get these games. We'll play them and then we'll rank them. Sounds good? So we'll leave that for next stream. So that will be all for this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a little bit of a different segment in the end there, but hopefully you guys enjoy the end product of it, and we can see more of this in the future. So with that said, I will catch you guys in the next stream. I don't think I have a stream planned for this weekend, so I'll see you guys next week. But until then, I'll catch you. 2v8, by the way, the 2v8 is out for DBD. Understood. Thank you. I just got summoned. I just got summoned to play DBD. So with that said, I will catch you guys in the next stream. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see how well those games are next video, next stream. So see you then.